This is the story of April and I. Once upon a time, in a far-off land, there lived a beautiful young princess named April. But her life wasn't the glamorous type that you would expect of a princess, for she was being held a prisoner in a dark castle patrolled by a guard and 3 ferocious tigers. She dreamed of finding love and living happily ever after, like in the stories she read. And every night she would send off messages to find someone that may be able to help her escape her prison. But there was no answer, and she remained trapped. Then one day, a handsome young prince came upon one of the messages. He had just arrived back from a quest of knowledge, and decided to find out more about this mysterious princess. A secret meeting was arranged where he could talk to her through her prison bars, and after laying eyes on the lovely princess, he knew something was special about her. How could someone so wonderful be locked away like this, he wondered. But what could he do? For there was a curse on the bars that locked the princess in. They could only be opened by her hands, and years of being held captive had drained the strength she needed to move them. More secret meetings took place, and the two became closer with each passing day. The prince sat in bed at night and dreamed of the enchanting princess. If only she was free, he thought. Then one day she came up with a plan. "You have to kiss me," she said. "What?" responded the prince. "Kisses are what give me my strength," she explained. "It's how the guard was able to keep me here. He made it so I didn't want to kiss. You have to kiss me." And as they did, she felt power begin to surge through her body. "Again," she exclaimed, and so they kissed, and kissed, and kissed, until she ripped the bars right off her cell, and they escaped into the night. "We need a place to hide," she said. Fortunately, the prince knew of a house they could hide at, but there was one problem. It was haunted. Hand in hand, the prince and princess fled to the house. They didn't know what sort of trouble they'd be up against there, but they knew as long as they were together, they could handle it. As they entered the house, all they could see was darkness. The air was old and musty. It seemed that no one had lived there for quite some time. The house creaked and moaned all around them. The prince pulled out a magic candle he had purchased from a merchant earlier. It was said that as long as the candle remained lit, those who stayed within its light would be safe from any evil spirits. The prince pulled the princess close and guided her up the dark stairway through the maze-like house into one of the smaller bedrooms. "We'll be safe in here as long as we stay close together," the prince explained. So they curled up together, making sure to stay close enough that both of them were in the light. They began to talk, share stories, and laugh, until soon the light of a new day had risen. Word of a new castle reached them, and it was in need of a new princess. So they decided to create their lives there. And until this day, they still remain curled up together at night, talking and laughing until the sun comes up.